Good afternoon. It's Sunday. Or is it Monday? It's Monday today. Yeah, it's Monday today. Lost a day for a minute then. Anyway, let's see how we do today. So let's unpack everything and see if we can get to the bottom of the triangle. That would be a good thing to achieve today. There's not a lot. I say not a lot. We all know that it's plenty. And how are you so infinitely tangled? Leave you for a minute. 2, 4, 6, 8. No, you are belonging to this. So let's fathom you from here round there under those. I don't know how it got quite so tangled. Let's have a look. It comes out round about here. And you are incredibly short, so we will make you longer like that. You're also really short. Right. These look like the next options. Right. Right. You are dealt with. You are at the bottom. I'm pretty sure you are also out. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, you're not. Something here. But it's not you. Yes, it is. Somehow, that's wrong. Let's move you, because you're... Something went wrong in the bar. No, you are wrapped around. There you go. That's why it looked funny. So, we shall put you there actually. There you go. That's You. Kind of weird to feel that it's Christmas Eve tomorrow. Okay. Doesn't feel very Christmassy around here. Hasn't been cold. I wonder what it's like where you all are. It's a really bent pin, but never mind. Yeah, it's but yeah, it'd be good to finish this today. That'd be nice, I'd like that. Incoming dog. Hello. Stupid pooch. I should get paid tomorrow, I think. I think I get paid tomorrow. That'd be useful. So, wonder what you're all doing today. I hope Nautical and his rats are doing alright. Tench will be working soon. Ow! Look at this. This is what I have to put up with. Put my fingers in and stab myself with pins. That reminds me, I need to check what time that was. There's a thing on eBay I'm interested in. Oh, excuse me. Oh, 21 hours, miles to go yet. That's a good thing. Basically, it's a pot that, a bit like these pins, you poke the pot into the cushion so they're a little bit more accessible. Thought I might see how that works out for me. I can imagine it being useful. Maybe not for this. Have I really got to put up my yawning apology again? I might have to. I was doing fine, as always. I was doing fine until I started streaming. I started streaming. Yawn, 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 yawn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Time to add the yawning apology, because apparently, where's my always? There it is. There you go. Add my sorry. Sorry. I really don't know what it is. Seriously, if I yawn, I don't understand it at all. So, for those of you who don't know me too well, I have other hobbies. I don't just do this. I am multifacetedly crap at many of them. Well, I say I'm crap at them all. Lots of people tell me I'm not, but I'm not particularly experienced at any of them. Well, in my own mind. So, I can spin wool. I knit, crochet, weave. I can sew. I do a bit of cross stitch. But I also am a computer programmer. And I would argue this is my key skill. And I've been having fun, or not, as the case may be, with something I've been trying to do for a few years. Now, some of it is my lack of experience, and I definitely put my hand up to that. But I was learning to write a game, and I've got a very big idea, but it was one of those, write this bit and it can grow. So kind of like each level involves new and different things that I would need to become more accustomed to. It's not that I can't do them now. I could do all of them now to a level, but I would have to improve. And, well, one of the big things I am really poor at is 3D modelling, and I cannot express to you how poor I am at 3D modelling. If it's not a primitive, i.e. a cube, a cylinder, or a sphere, which is the stuff these programs poke out by default, I pretty much can't do it. I am absolutely terrible. Now, I do blame it on my eyesight, but it's not my eyesight, it is my brain. But there are things that my brain won't comprehend, or my eyes and brain will not comprehend. So, for example, for all of us who remember landline phones with curly cables, if you put the curly cable in front of my eyes, you know, so it's just kind of dangling across like this, I now can't see. I'm not blind, but I cannot focus on anything because my brain can't decide whether to focus on the cable or the thing that I was looking at. And, well, it goes nuts and doesn't actually achieve either. And in essence, it's that problem that I have with certain shapes. So, for example, I can see a face. I can see what shapes are within a face. I know the proportions of a face. Technically, although really badly, I can indeed, with some effort, draw a face. I can draw a neck, because, you know, well, it kind of comes down. It's a tube. Cannot do shoulders. Cannot, for the life of me, do shoulders. I mean, I know biologically how they work. I know, from a clothing perspective, how to make clothes that will go round my shoulders, such as knitting a cardigan or a jumper. Can't draw them. Cannot draw them for love nor money. And so, with that kind of problem in mind, me making 3D models is really not a thing, which very much limits what I can do as a game designer. Now, I don't expect to be the next Angry Birds. I don't expect to be the next EverQuest. I don't expect to be the next Fortnite. I don't expect any of that. Now, the kind of games that I like are what I would call might and magic, swords and magic. That kind of, you know, fantasy style of, you know, cast fireball, you know, kind of moment. So I have basically a tutorial level. And in my tutorial level, you wake up, basically you're naked, but you don't know that yet. You wake up and find yourself in a locked room. You have to get out of the locked room. Now, obviously, the way out is in the room. I'm not that horrible. But you do have to look for it. It isn't just walk up to the door and open it. outside the room, there are things guarding the room and to the way out. And you have to go along, search for how to get out, and of course, find a way to make sure you can actually achieve it. I'm not telling you exactly what you need to be looking for, but you need to be looking for things. And it's really not that hard to make. The actual principle is not that hard to make. What I've been struggling with for a very, very long time is I'm writing it in Unity because Unity allows you to make web-based games, whereas many of the others do not. Because I don't expect it, you know, I'm not after real-time photo quality, you know, graphics here with, you know, 600 players all being rendered. No. What have I got? Something in my eyeball face. It's like there was a fly in my glasses. Anyway, so realistically, it's a maze with some things in it. You get to the end of the maze, you've got the thing to get out with. You now would launch into the real world, which is kind of post-tutorial, where now you start, you know, collecting more things, doing more things, having more skills. Now, the general gist of the game is that you've been kidnapped from your parents. So you're not exactly 5 here, but you are being kidnapped from your parents by the things in the underground. And when you get home, not that I've made this bit at all, you discover your parents aren't there. And the element of the game will always be find your parents, reunite, and settle down. That is the general principle of the game. What you have to do to achieve that, well, that's pretty varied. There's lots of things you need to do. Puzzles to solve, things to kill, places to go, things to read, knowledge to gain, all of those usual kind of shenanigans. So with all of that in mind, I've been trying to do this for, I mean, not very hard, but I have been trying to do this for a fairly long time. And when I started, it was reasonably straightforward. And Unity introduced the render pipelines. Now, don't get me wrong, they are a beautiful thing, but it created a bug. Every time I tried to move to the render pipeline, it screwed shit up. And in doing so, you'd spend hours, you know, resetting loads of things, so lots of the meshes would kind of not be disassociated, but it is almost. So that you'd look at it and you'd see a table, but one of the legs would be missing. But it's one item, right? And so one leg would be missing, or when viewed from this angle, the whole table would disappear, for example. Currently, if I upgrade to the latest version of Unity, all my walls disappear for no apparent reason other than all my walls disappear. And I don't know why. They just do. And I'm unclear as to why my walls would disappear. There are a few black box kind of voodoo things that happen within Unity, and to be fair, similar, you know, I won't say the same things, but very similar things, you know, are true for Unreal. So it's not, you know, bitching about Unity, but I've been struggling with one simple thing. When you wake up, you're underground. It's dark. No shit. You're in like an underground, let's call it a nuclear bunker. There are rooms and there are some lights, but most of the inhabitants do not really need lights. The lights are incidental. So as a result, it should be pitch black. But in many places, it's not. Now, having posted this a few times on the Unity board, there are some very unhelpful people who will go, well, you shouldn't do this and you're expecting that, and it's like, you get one guy, oh, well, there's too many lights. You're allowed 16, I think it is. Not one room has 16 lights, nor at any point in the maze can you see or the output of the lights, so round corners, whatever, a bit of shadow and, thing round a corner casting light. At no point are 16 visible at any one time. So it's really hard to take him seriously because, well, it's not true. And there's been lots of people who've kind of, oh, well, you haven't done this. Oh, you haven't done that. Well, actually, I have. Then, should it actually look fairly reasonable, a new problem arises, which is that now half the lights don't light. Well, they do, but it looks more like a skid mark on the wall than an actual light. You don't get that, if you've got a light bulb and an uplighter, you have like the really bright light on the wall and then a glow that emits from within it. What you get is almost like a really faint wax scrubbing of the texture of the wall in the colour of the light. Well, that's no friggin' help, is it? So, it's been a bit... It's taken the wind out of my sail. I have lost my game-making mojo. Because for 2 years, 2 long, stress-filled years, I have been trying to make the lighting work under this new render pipeline because, well, they're looking to depreciate. Seriously, dog, you got off from behind me to walk round to the side that you were at originally. You pain in the arse. And now you're in the way of my elbow. That's really helpful. So, it has been very frustrating. Oh, and he's laid back down exactly where he was 2 seconds ago. So it is difficult for me because I've been trying really, really hard. But because the problem I'm facing may be of my own making, but at the same time isn't of my own making. So it was working, you run the converter, and while you do not expect perfection from any of these automatic doing things, you would expect it to at least have some reasonability of working. Might have to tidy a couple of corners, but not rewrite the whole thing. And it's kind of where I'm at, is that I don't know what, it's taken all the wind out of my sails. All of the ideas that I had, all the plans, all the fun that I was, kind of having in planning and making and, thinking about how to incorporate the next bit and all of those kind of stuff has just really bitten me in the bum. And so I do struggle with it. And I've got I've got a couple of nice people who are really, really nice trying to help me. And one sent me something to try today. But in looking to try the thing today, pulled up my project in the current version of Unity. And it's already got other issues before I even start on the actual issue, And it just really detracts from wanting to do it, is that each time you open it almost, it's not even way the same as when you left it. So, for example, I thought I'd kind of fixed the lighting. So I saved everything, as you do, committed everything to my GitHub, and opened it the other day, it's not working. But it was. I know it was. I remember it was. It's not anymore. It's really hard to know why and what's not working. But I do have this new tool, well, this extra bit that my friend's written, and this lovely guy from Unity has said, you know, he'll try and look it out over Christmas, which, you know, I really don't expect him to do that for me. You know, don't use your personal time for, you know, I mean, I know that people often want to get away from their families at Christmas, but, you know, don't anger your family just to look at this for me. You know, it's waited a couple of years. It really can wait a bit more, you know. You know, I'm not, it's not like I'm a top paying customer here. I am just a standard free user of Unity. Because of course I don't charge anybody for playing any of the things that I make. So yeah, I want to do that, and as I say, I was looking at it earlier, and it just makes me really depressed, because the more I try with it, almost the worse it gets. And it shouldn't be like that. It really shouldn't. And to be honest, the Unity guy really appreciates that it shouldn't be, you know, you're wrong, phone down kind of thing from Unity. And even if it is my fault, you know, if it's that bloody obvious, well then tell me what I've got to do to fix it. Don't just go, because, you know, when I contacted them and said, well, so if I'm wrong, what have I got to change? Oh, well, you need, you know, I can't help you with that. You need to contact support. So you contact support, and support say, we're not technical enough. You need to log a bug. Catch-22. And that to me is more of the problem than the fact that, you know, it strikes me as a bug because, you know, you set Unity, you know, I opened Unity, you know, you chose things to upgrade, you chose these settings as your defaults. If you're telling me that those can never work, well then your converter didn't work right. You've got a bug in your converter, you know. So yeah, So I've got a few things to try on that, and something I really, you know, want to do with over the next few days, because if I can get it working, maybe, you know, I can get back to making some progress. Because there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that isn't really apparent to the user at the moment. So there's a whole stat system, and there is a combat system, although, you know, all you really see of it is press a button to start attack, and even that's not working in the current one, and I'm not quite sure why. It's almost like the skeletons are bouncing off, and it's like, well, I never did that before. So the first thing you find is a skeleton, so you go to fight it, and it can't keep in contact because it keeps going away from you. Well, it shouldn't be. It should just stand there and hit you. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't know quite what's up with it. Other than, well, it feels like everything. And when it comes to programming, I'm not new to programming at all. So logic is very much my bag, but you know, when you load up Unity and you can't even guarantee you're going to have the same as when you last loaded it, it really doesn't help, you know. put the yards again. See, yeah. Yeah, it was really nice because the Unity guy who was aware of my problem when I reached out to him and said, look, I know this is not really your problem, but are you able to, advise me at all? Because the problem I am having is in part because it is a web platform and there are much tighter specifications because it is down to the browser of choice as to almost what actually is or is not supported. And he was like, yeah, I've actually read your problem and I feel really bad for you. And I'm going to look into it, but we've all been really busy and we're a bit understaffed. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate that, but as a customer, it is highly frustrating when you go to do things and it doesn't work, and there's no hints or real descriptions as to why. It just doesn't work. And and as I said, when you log a bug, because it looks like a bug, that light's leaking through solid walls. I mean, that seems like a bug. They either write that's expected, and you're kind of going, no, it's not, or you're an idiot, fine, but won't tell you what you've done that's stupid. It's almost like there are 20,000 doors in front of you. You must pick the right one. Slap! No, not that one. Slap! Not that one either. Give the girl a hint, right? So, yeah, it is a little bit, that's you three out of the way. So yeah, hopefully I could get somewhere with that. That would be nice. But as I say, every time I open it, I almost get different results, which is kind of not helping at the moment. Gonna yawn again. So yeah, I don't know. It's a bit like having ideas of making a net curtain, but not really having the capacity to do it. Now, in this situation, because I'm making lots of little squares, it's not spanned, but then of course the squares will show in part in the pattern, which I am concerned about. I'm concerned that when I join them together they will look really, really crap. So yeah, I shall try and do some of that at some point. It's not right. That's fine. So yeah, basically nothing I do seems to go right sometimes. Excuse me. Well, so far today, other than the yawning. Whiny dog. Whiny dog. Blimey. My neighbours have got a food delivery. At least I think that's what it is. Also looks like I might have had a parcel delivery. I'll go and have a look later. Mind you, if I don't go and look soon now, let me go look, because otherwise it'll be dark. I was right. Very badly packaged, but I was right. I even think I know what it is. it is another lace video. It comes with a little... Oh, get out, big dog! Random piece of cardboard in the bottom. Just thought I'd have a quick peer through it. So, for example, that's one of the patterns that you can make with it. So I shall have to have a watch and read of that later. Just wanted to see what patterns come with it. It's interesting that I didn't get charged customs for that. Got charged customs last time. Actually, come to think of it, I think I've got a whole set of their videos now, so some of their videos, as we know from the Bucks Point one, was a little bit disappointing, and I won't tell you how much I ended up paying for that one. It's a USB stick, but effectively DVD. I won't tell you how much that cost me. The answer is far more than is reasonable. I assume it's USB. Something's loose. It might actually be DVD. Hang on. Let's open it and find out. They are DVDs, just that one of them's loose. There we go. Probably scratched to fuck. Yep, it is. It's only got to play once. So they are DVDs. Well, as I say, something for me to... What I tend to do is I tend to watch them rather than, you know, follow along. Although that first Bucks Point bookmark came from one of their videos, and I did try and follow along with it, and as you know, that wasn't very successful because she kept changing her mind as to what word she was using for things. And doing different, so she'd say twist 3 times and only do 2, and you're like, sounds important. DVD player earlier and digitise it all. What did I do with the other ones? They're in a box. Well, they might be in that box, but I don't think they are. I'll have to have a look. sitting like that a bit. Trying to let my back feel slightly relaxed for a second, because it does get kind of upset. Come on. There you go. Big snog for little dog. You know you'll make your sister jealous, and she'll then want to trample everything. Yes. You're not so little, are you? And you're certainly not little. You're a big pain in the arse. Little brown one. You scatter my cushion everywhere. I will kebab one of you for tea. I will. Dog. to be grateful you can't see this, guys. I've got a brown one in the middle of standing kind of on my shoulder, stroke boobs, stroke legs, stroke kind of everything. And I've got a little black one resting gently and sitting like a good boy while his sister is mauling me. Yes, you are. Miss Excitable. You're not helping though. You're not. No. Go around the back. There you go. Right. Let's try. Your head's. You're not helping, not man. Put your head down. If you stick your head down, I can probably work around it. support back. I think that part of the reason I don't get backache normally is because I don't entirely sit still. Whereas obviously doing this, I've got to be sitting, well, not still, but in a fairly similar situation so that both hands can reach the pillow and, you know, do things. And so even if there is an element of movement, there isn't, you know, I can't slouch, move, lie down, stroke, get up, stroke, you know. I'm sitting here and I noticed today that my streaming cushion I bought that was really fat has suddenly kind of pancaked, and I don't quite know why, but it's now really not that fat. Hey, Tench, I was thinking of you earlier. Saying you were probably at work, so I understand entirely. Don't worry. Good to have you lurking. Time to pull some pins, because I like pulling pins after all. Rory, if you get off, I will be so mad. Thank you. These pins are shit. As you can tell, you grab a handful of them, and they either stick to my finger because they weigh nothing, or they ping themselves around the place. Yeah, the pizza incident's slightly apparent, but I'm sure it'll be alright after a wash. Gives me more pins to pick out anyway. So. These in sticks so I can stack them. hates this so much. As I say, I think some of it is the trying to sit still thing. It's so infuriating when you've got so little left to do and your back's kind of going, no, nope, don't want to do this, nope. How would I explain it? So if you're sitting down on the right hand side of your back, next to the spine but below your shoulder blade, it's there, and it's like someone's put a hook in at the top and they're hanging from it. It's like there's a permanent over tension, which is why, you know, I try moving around and leaning to stretch it a bit further, so that when I sit back it realises that actually it's not that bad, you know. Because what follows the tight feeling, of course, is cramps. See, you just keep undoing yourself, and the other one just gets shorter. happens is it gets looser, and then when it comes to the end and I tug it to tighten it, it just undoes the bobbin. Which is really annoying. Annoying dog, you know that, right? No, do not be starting. Let me see if I can sort myself out a bit. There, see if that helps a bit. I've shuffled a little bit over, which will annoy the dog because it means he can't get up as easily into his spot. But it should be a bit more square to the couch. Get in there. We'll get in there slowly. Hey Nautical, I'm okay, thank you very much. How are you and your germs and your little friends that you are trying to evict? How are you doing with those? Well, we're definitely going to make it towards the end of the triangle, so today, which is a good thing, because we haven't got too much to go. that's always the problem with getting up into your attic or getting into any loft space area, is that they might give you a hole to get through, but it's not exactly the most practical thing to pass things up. When I moved in here, one of the things that I did was I got a permanent ladder attached to my loft hatch. I had a ladder specifically with a handrail so that when you come down, you can come down facing either way, so that if you're facing out carrying something, you've still got a handrail for your elbow to steady yourself with. But I also had the loft hatch made a little bigger so that you and a box can fit in the hole, because it just gets really complicated. I mean, even if you wanted to carry a fairly small box down, you need enough room for you, the ladder at the angle it can be, and the box all to pass through, and usually you've got very little stability on it. So I made sure that but you know what? I haven't put a single thing up there yet. It's been a few years, but I've been up there, but I haven't actually put any of my crap up there. I really ought to. After all, I paid decent money to have. I mean, it's not, livable flooring. It is just flooring so you can walk around without having to balance on rafters and worry about falling through. And I'm not sure they did a particularly good job either, but in some ways I've got a horrible feeling they just lifted all the installation out and put boards over the top. I don't think they did a proper job and raised... Ouch! Fuck it. That's right, just rammed my finger on the end of a sharp pin. That they just put boards on top of the rafters and either squished the insulation or took it away, because it was a bit of a mess up there. So, to be honest, it wasn't quite what I expected. I expected a bit more of a professional job done, but especially for that money, but they didn't do that bad a job. They put up a light for me so that I can see while I'm up there without having to hold a torch in my face. I mean, it's quite practical up there. It's just a case of I haven't used it, which is a bit stupid, really. But I've got loft hatch over my garage as well, which I have never done anything with, and I've never even so much as looked up there. So, no, my luck, there's the crown jewels up there for all I know. Try to think what they stored up there, if anything, of course. Because it's the kind of place you'd expect to find the Christmas decorations. No, they were on a shelf. So yeah, I don't know if they ever used that bit. Dog's got the beans. Oh, when I went around to see my neighbour to drop off the Christmas cards, she was showing me the bad news about her house, which is that the extension has subsided and formed a crack, so I hope you have not got something similar. At least hers is just the extension and not, say, the whole house, but to be honest, I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if actually the extension's staying still and it's the house that moved. So how are they getting in, my friend? Ugh. Don't suppose in your area they're doing the free cavity wall filling, are they? Where they squirt it full of those little ball bearing sized bits of foam and that, to be honest, that is a thought, although distinctly unpleasant. The problem is you can't even put fine chicken wire down in places if you don't know really where to put it. I mean, you don't like to think of them climbing up your pipework and stuff, but I mean, they must do some element of that. But you can't always cap everything with a kind of mesh on top of it. Amy, I don't know what you want, sweetheart, but go and want it somewhere else. Go want somewhere else. No. You always maul me. You stand on my boobs, you stand on my shoulder, you stick your claws in my leg because you can't actually just stand on it. Seriously, my legs are fat enough that you would have thought that, you know, Rory manages to stand on them and he just stands. You always slide off, maul, stick your claws in everything, stand on every bit of me that I never knew was for dog paws. You're just annoying. You are. No, get your paw off my boobs. Sorry, fighting with the dog. You have no idea what it's like to try and have a 20-pound dog stick its tiny little paws, because they're quite small. She's got quite small paws. And try and stand on your boobs because she thinks that they're paw rests. They're like climbers' footholds or something. No, they're not. She's got the bean. I think that's part of the problem. Yeah. The only thing I would say to you is 1/2-inch chicken wire is probably not small enough. I mean, if you put a couple of layers of it down, it's probably good enough, but rats and mice and things can get through surprisingly small holes. Because they've got skulls that are designed to collapse. No, mice won't be in the sewers, but and mice are. I don't know about you, but I don't have a problem with mice. Not specifically. I mean, you know, would I want to wake up to a room full of them? No, no, not at all. But at the same time, the idea of a couple of mice floating around somewhere in my attic doesn't give me anywhere near the level of creep that rats do. So, you know, I mean, I won't say. I mean, I like mice, to be fair, but I don't like rats. No, don't need rats in life. I can cope with mice. I mean, if I had a proper infestation of them, I'd probably feel a bit different. But, you know, even if there was a couple, whatevs. Mind you, like rabbits, you don't really have a couple. You start with a couple and then you got a few thousand. Mice gestation, they can start having children at the age of 7 days and can reproduce every 14. So, mice breed literally like rabbits. I think in part because they're more scared of you. A mouse, a mouse will get in your cupboard and eat some of your food packets and, you know, but it doesn't, they just don't seem to be quite as destructive and arseholey as rats. Rats have taken it to a specific new level of, you know, and, you know, there's no reason why mice don't transmit diseases. I'm sure there's probably a few that they do, but again, mice tend to be quite clean, in comparison. So yeah, I don't know, I don't view rats as big mice. I'm sorry, there's just something about them, something about rats that's just creepy. And the plague, of course, is part of it. I don't think I mentioned Nautical because this one might make you smile. It's a story with a rat in it, but at the same time, it kind of might make you smile. I was driving home late one night from a friend. They are a fire hazard. But I was driving home. Oi! Shut up! I was driving home late one night, and I'm driving down a sort of a windy country road type thing. It's not a true country road, but it's in a bit where there's lighting. Don't, Amy! If you don't want him to be pissing at you, don't wind him up, and don't come and wind me up either. Driving down, and flying down the middle of the road was an owl, and following in the middle of the road was a rat. It was like Hedwig and Scabbers on a mission, right? And it really wasn't that coincidental. Because the owl was behind the rat and then in front of the rat, because flying's generally quicker. But they'd clearly been doing it a while, and they didn't like scarper either side of the road either. It was really quite weird. Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like it. It was kind of weird. But it was kind of pretty to see because it was round about Christmas time. And so, you know, it was cold and dark and... So yeah, it's the only time I was kind of not unhappy to see the rat because A, it was nowhere near my house, and B, I was driving a car, so one accidental twist of the wheel and, you know, Scabbers would have been dog food. But it was quite interesting to see that the fact that this owl was not after the rat, but it was flying along like it was being guided by the rat somewhere. It really was quite interesting. could do it. Although I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure it would be as successful as we'd hope. For God's sake, Steve. Oh no, it's not Steve. It is work, but it's not Steve. Makes change. What you doing, Rory? So, someone's reminding me I need to set something up for work, and of course, I'd have to log into my work email and everything to get information for it. Well, I'm not at work, so I haven't got my work laptop fired up. Not too surprisingly, and I don't really fancy firing it up. Apparently, the link expires today. Well, then they can have to generate me a new one because I was on holiday. And of course, she does this every time. Every time I'm busy, these two kick off about something. There we go. Right, time to sort out 300 million pins. Right. Goodness sake, people. There we go. A few extra ones yet. There we go. Ta-da! We have indeed achieved triangle number 11. Take a photo of that. Right. So now I really need another cloth. There it is. I knew I had one around here somewhere. Because obviously you are making that half covered. But now I need to cover that bit. So we fold you in half. And we lift you up. And we do a bit of that. Flatten everything down a bit. We do the flippy thing, because we all know that this works really well for me. We slowly flip them across, well, try and slip them. Will be the first one, and we will pin you here, because that's always a good plan. Come on. Well, Naughty Cow, it is time, I think, for me to finish this stream so that we can start number 12 tomorrow. So you won't be missing out. I will definitely be on tomorrow, because Christmas Eve feels like one of those days that never ends. No worries, Tench. It's nice for all of you who came. But we're now ready for triangle number 12. I'll update the little magic picture, because obviously I've got an extra triangle to fill in now. And I will update that, and I will be back tomorrow. So have a good evening, afternoon, whatever, wherever you are, and I shall see you tomorrow. I'm all excited now. I do get excited when I finish a triangle, it has to be said. And I'll be even more excited when I finish the square. Now, finishing the square, as we all know, is a bit more laborious than just getting to the end. And swearing will be had. So, anyway, we've got Christmas week to do the triangle. We'll see how it goes. See you there. Bye-bye.